plague that hit the hospital did not strip us only of the lives of our friends and comrades in arms, but also took part of our spirit. Despite this, we have to fight. Although the darkness surrounds us from every possible side. But perhaps we are the dust that will meet the morning light someday.
Sir, medics are on the way. Sir, a dispatch from HQ. German counter-offensive is planned on our part of the front line. HQ's orders are to hold the line and prevent the enemy from breaking our defenses.
Any reinforcements?
No, sir. HQ has decided to make a push on the other parts of the front, north from here, in an effort to break the German defense line.
I understand.
Sir, HQ asks if we can send any reinforcements for the attacking forces.
Reinforcements? We can barely hold the line now. If the Germans are planning a massive attack, HQ should send reinforcements to us!
I agree, Lieutenant Colonel, but sadly, we will have to make do with what we have. If HQ sees a chance of ending this war with that offensive, we should hold our part of the front line as long as they need. Maybe this bloody war will end soon.
Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to War Hospital, Episode 18. We begin the third and what I understand is the final chapter here in War Hospital. Things have gone well so far, but there's still work to do. Of course, you know that I'm tracking the game in terms of how I get through research, but also the ratio of survived. And the number's not great on that survival ratio yet. We've got a lot of work to do in this third chapter to have a chance at reaching more than just completion of the game, but reaching a solid end score. So that is the goal here of this third and final chapter. All we have to do is survive,
Sir,
but of course, ultimately we want to do more than just that.
Recommendation note with one of the patients who was recently brought to the casualty clearing station.
Alright, so we have a VIP, and let's get our assignments sorted out here real quick. We're still on our 24-hour window. The ADS is clear, so we need to get these guys shifted to the CCS. We'll get 6, put them on a 12-hour shift. We'll leave 2 here. We have no one awaiting burial, so 2 there. And I don't know, maybe we just keep, I guess, 4 on the ADS on that shift. It should work for now. Nurses, we can definitely get ourselves into continuing the micromanagement state of that one. And there's no one in rehab, but CCS has a fair few, so we'll put them there. And then, yeah, the engineers are wide open on this one. So we want to get at least 2 to each of these stations. We don't need 6 for the engineering projects. That leaves us with a couple. If we go 12 hour, and put 1 on each of these, they'll help us maintain, and then that's 4 for upgrades. Let's start with an upgrade before we get carried away with the assignments otherwise. We definitely don't want to spend all of our points, but hey, we've got 2,000. Shouldn't be too hard to get things going. CCS enhancement is certainly a good start point. Extra beds, slots for nurses will be helpful. Surgery ward advancement, trauma ward. We only have the 2 at the trauma ward. I actually wouldn't mind getting a 3rd in early in this chapter. That's probably a good start point. Let's go ahead and start with that. On to our assignments. We do have some serious patients. We of course want to get them started. There are civilians included in this. That's our VIP right there. And then we're on to ones that are good. We do have some difficult surgeries, but I feel like we're in a position where we can save most everyone that we have right now. All of them look a little bit threatening, so if we spread them out, I think that's a good start point. We'll deal with the others in time. And just 2 here makes that an easy choice, and 3 here makes this an easy choice. We'll give the easiest one to the newest doctor. A good start there. Meanwhile, we might also have some scout projects. Let's see if we do. 1 initially to get things going. Crouching enemy, hidden forces, or crouching tiger, hidden dragon. At least the play on words for that one. We'll see if the story actually mimics that. Many villages have reported large groups of men sneaking under the cover of night. HQ, fearing some sort of covert German operation, wants the scout team to investigate. Is it a love story? Initial surgeries are getting underway. This time they have given us 12 staff points to start the chapter. We also already have that first upgrade on the way and our first positive event. Nice. Let's see what we can do about ordering staff, because I have made at least some upgrades and I'm not sure if we have anything that involves hiring personnel. We could hire a 4th physician. Yes. Why not? Right? 1 extra mouth to feed. Uses 5 contracts, but we will get them ordered. Away they come. Now, we've already spent some of our resources. I would expect our cargo trains should supply more than before. That's personnel train first, but our schedule, let's see. Oh yeah, 2,000. Ooh, nice. Looks like we are expecting 2,000 per. It's going to make it real easy to keep things going, as we already have an event here. Trauma medicine supply shortage at the HQ. Send medicine 12 to get 2 more staff contracts. We'll take it. Already recovers a fair bit of what we spent. Just a suggestion for you who are playing the game alongside myself. The game can get a little bit buggy, and I've noticed that the biggest bug that I have encountered within the game was in between chapters. It took me quite a few attempts to get it to run and load and start this 3rd chapter. 14 days, by the way, till we are at the end of the game. That being said, I suggest that when you get there, when you're at that point, longer rehab, especially this early on, shorter rehab, morale, we'll take morale boost. We just started. We were just at 50%, we're already at 72. That's nice. We've only had 1 surgery complete so far. 1 and 0. Just getting started on that part. But anyway, when you are nearing the end of a chapter, and this mission icon coming up to its conclusion, save the game, because it can bug out, require reload, and you have to go back quite a ways in time if you don't have a save. And I did that more than once to get through the end of chapter 2, and eventually I learned the trick on saving it before the end. As the heck, nurses tired? Really? Didn't they just start their shift? Gosh, we've got some hardcore projects here early on. A lot of difficult surgeries. Time-consuming, challenging, exhausting for the doctors, where those bonuses become really important. Freight maxed out 3,000. We have a big project going. I would like to get more engineers so we can get through other projects more quickly. Oh, huge decrease in cost, thank you. Level up. We don't want to be aggressive, but that's not one we can swap out. Rehab center. Our first attack is not covered off yet, so we are going to have to send to the front until it is. Once it is, then we can shift our focus. We have plenty of contracts for the time being with 125. Our new doctor has arrived, making the chemical ward the most stable place. After the complications of Chapter 2, it's weird to see that, but it is the state of things right now where we seem to be getting a lot more patients and a lot tougher to deal with patients, so 3 doctors might not be enough in the surgery ward much longer. It looks like they're going to hit us a lot harder on this chapter. With fighting happening on other parts of the front, we are getting a lot of patients being brought to us from other areas while we're not having action on our own. HQ has decided to mount a great push on other parts of the front in an effort to break the German defense line. They ask for 80 reinforcements we can send. They need us to send 24 to HQ. So that's actually a good thing for us, but we've also got to handle the incoming combat, so kind of double duty there. We've taken our first loss it was during operation, so we are at 90% so far for the chapter, with 10 patients already having concluded surgeries. In fact, already up to 11. I do have things sped up a little bit here. Time to swap things out. These guys are close to collapsing. I changed my mind on the HQ. We've got to get this battle under control, especially with deadlines coming. So far, everything being sent back to the trenches has finally gotten us to good. Definitely not in the blue yet, so we got to keep going on that a little bit longer. Then we'll start worrying about our 24 points to HQ. For that one, it has no timer on it. We'll get there. The following battle is definitely not prepared, but we'll have a couple days. We'll have a couple days to make those moves. Okay. It's weird that all of those newer staff, just like across the board, have terrible personalities. We have new patients that have come in that are in really bad shape, terminal, critical, serious, and serious. We are going to lose some of them. We are absolutely not going to save all of these patients. Morale's quickly up over 90% with this good success rate here early on, where we are getting through most of the surgeries without issue. 14-1 through the first 15 patients. They seem to be bringing them in, new patients coming in at the same rate that we are really operating at and for the time being, and we still haven't even covered off this first battle, which is still close to a day away. It's just under 24 hours from now, so we've got some time. But we have lost a second patient during operation. Wow, we lost a second one minutes later. That's 3, so we just lost 2 in a row. Oh, back-to-back negative events as well. This is, well, we could take a morale decrease. We're at 93%, so that's easy enough. We can improve this situation, but make the operation take longer. I'm not sure which operation that was, but we'll take the 3 hours longer to have it be less threatening on the doctor. I guess this is our message. Personal letter. As a word of our bond, we want to offer our services as medic team to you and the hospital, but we do not have room for it now. We have 48 hours to make that happen if we want to accept the new medic team, which I'm very much interested in, but we still have a good 20 hours to go on this group here. Increased cost. Third negative event in a row, with coming off 2 deaths in a row. So we've had 5 negative things happen back to back to back. 6 if you count the fact that we don't have space for this additional here. The bad little stretch here early on. We are slowly getting the CCS down a little bit. It's down from 23 down to 17, but here comes more patients. Looks like at least 2, maybe a third. No, that's just the second part of that medic team that they were waiting on there. They were separated there briefly. Okay, a nurse already with 3 positives, and so we'll do nothing on that one. It's all 3 of the best 3 in my opinion. Finally a positive event. Just a morale boost is all. 99% is where we stand, and we are finally starting to save some patients again. So we've gotten through that brief dark period, but speaking of period, we're still only good. 5 hours should be easily, there you go. There's strong. That gets us to the front. Now we can start sending to HQ a little bit down the road. If we have to pull her off the shift and suddenly things scoot back, I want that little bit of an extra cushion, plus the next battle's not covered anyway. Not even close. It's weird to see the chemical ward in such a strong position. The one and only patient is being operated on right now. The trauma ward has just 3, but we're going to have a 3rd doctor fairly soon. It's going to make it a lot easier to handle the long surgeries that come in the trauma ward. Surgery ward is a problem. Absolutely is a problem. We're going to end this rest and swap. This critical one's not going to be saved. Okay, denied it is. Back to resting. Can't save him. We're going to lose him. Might as well let him go then. We have rest. We have rest. We're going to let them rest for now. Already coming out of our first rest into operations. I think we can get one of these stable ones, one of these quick ones. Okay, that one that was critical has died a short while later. That's our 4th death. That was 1 waiting on surgery. That's 3 that have died on the operating table. That's quite a bit. That is not what we are used to. But what I've seen so far at the early stage of this chapter is we have a group of patients. Most of the surgeries they're sending us are much more difficult than what we had before. Much more difficult. I mean, it's not even close. Their condition, for one thing, the seriousness of the wounds, the time constraints, the operation difficulties, like everybody's being wounded in a worse manner than before. Now, here's my thought on this. It's not that suddenly the Germans are fighting differently than they did previously. Where are these patients coming from? We've had like 2 come from our front. 2 general entries that have been added. The rest have been sent on a train to get here. We had these before. It's not like we didn't have them. They were just infrequent. But suddenly it's all of the patients we have. Well, who would you put on the train? The ones you can't treat. The ones that somebody else needs to help you out with. Makes sense. They were in good condition, but it was a difficult surgery. You have an overload of patients in front of you. You're going to send the difficult surgery who's got a chance to survive to somebody who's not busy. I get it. It does make sense. Like, thematically, realistically, it does make sense. These are circumstantial cases, not just general cases. It's not just, here's 50 patients, we can't handle 50. Send 30 of them on a train to somebody else, right? Well, pick which 30 you're going to send. They're going to make a quick decision. They're going to take a minute to assess and then send those 30 on the way. But with things under control for the next fight now, a little extra cushion, we're good to handle the Send 24 to HQ. We've already got 10 now assigned for that. I think we already had some too. Yeah, 1 point already, so we're actually at 11. Or is that our first point just now? Yeah, that is our first point just now, so 10 in all of 24. Easy operation. 1 was the difficulty, and they failed. I think that's the first I've seen the lowest chance of failure result in a failure. Especially with all the bonuses enforced by the nurses, by the doctors themselves. We've had some bad luck early on in this chapter. 4 operation failures. I don't think we've had 4 I think we've had probably a combined total of 4 operation failures in the last 3 episodes, something along those lines, or 2 episodes anyway. It's early in this episode still. I mean, we're maybe at the halfway point here. I'd like to go for the decreased cost, but after what's just happened, let's go ahead and take some less doctor fatigue on this one. Another nurse has leveled up, and unlike the others, she has a good set of traits, and we're about to give her 1 more, work significantly better. There you go. New patients inbound, at least 2 of them, and a medic team. Can we get rid of aggressive? No, we can get rid of thorough, which they tire slightly faster. We'll go ahead and swap that out. Shift changeover happening pretty quickly here to see that actually getting carried out. Up to 27 saved. I mean, despite the not great day when it comes to our surgeries, we've still already completed 28 successfully and only turned down 1. I mean, it has been a good day. Chemical ward, empty. Trauma ward, single operation. Tired, resting, just getting through. But we're down to stable. That's good. Let's put you in here. Finish your rest. Meanwhile, back at the rehab center, lots of new ones. We do not need to get everybody at the front, but let's get a little bit more. There's still this later battle to think about. It's plus 17, but what it doesn't show is the ones who already went away. That should, if my math was correct, get us to plus 25. So that should be enough to complete the task here. Current count's at 7. Under 2 hours left to finish that upgrade so we can get the 3rd doctor in the trauma ward. I will then focus on adding in additional medic teams. And here's our first scout event of the chapter, the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. We'll see how closely it resembles the story. Scout team reached the village where the sightings of a group of men were reported last. To the scouts' surprise, the villagers were really cooperative, telling them about groups of men sneaking through the southern fields. They seemed to be traveling in many separate groups, 5-6 men each, avoiding being spotted and taking routes that were as far from the light as possible. Commander decided to check the fields. Tracks they found there seemed to corroborate the villagers' stories. There were multiple tracks of small groups of people sneaking through the fields, all leading in the same direction. Follow the tracks. Okay, scout assignment continues automatically. Let's make sure there's not another scout assignment in the meantime. Chemical supplies are doing great. Trauma supplies are doing well. We are burning through surgical supplies very, very quickly. It looks like we're going to need to order some. Edith Boulay, the one who is flirty, which is a double negative problem. And it looks like that's the only one. We can eliminate it. Trauma specialization, construct trauma ward, and enhancement. I just picked up the achievement for getting that final upgrade there. It's done. So 2 things we need to do. We need to do our next improvement, but we also need to hire personnel, as we do have room for another trauma specialist. And so we'll use the 4 contracts on, or 4 staff contracts on that. Leaves us with 5 for now. I'm actually tempted to very early, so now seems like a perfect time, max all of these out so we have space. The medic team is the one we need to do first, because they want to give us a free upgrade. I have no interest in denying a free upgrade. I'd like to get the engineers after that. We can start doubling up on our upgrade projects. And with just 9 supply left, it's time to order some resources. Everything else is doing fine. This is surgical supplies only. Not the cheapest. 22 contracts in all, but that should help us with those surgical supplies. Alright, here we go. It's our first battle of the 3rd chapter. We'll have to slow things down after this to start navigating. We're going to pull off that 12-hour shift onto the 24. I did not prepare very well for this one as it snuck up on me.
Sir, a report from the last battle just came in.
Report?
Our forces in the northeast and northwest from the hospital were forced to give some land to the Germans.
That means we lost access to Kashish, and Obley Forest to the east, and Les Frontaliers Forest to the west.
4 events. Morale will get boosted. There you go. See? There's our offset. It's right back to neutral. So we saved 3 there. There's the morale boost. I knew that would come eventually. And we have already the best, so no change. The epicenter only has 4, but we'll start sending points to the front until we get that covered off. That at least got us out of red. And we need to change assignments. 24 hours. Get all that we can. These 2 resting. We'll go back to the CCS soon. Let's get back to maximum here. Replace our exhausted one there. Though clearly not producing surgical supplies fast enough. So that is one area where having extra engineers could be helpful. And get back to micromanaging. 4 new patients in the chemical ward, including 1 very difficult one, but we can absolutely save him. 1 is serious. They are well rested, so we'll get them seen right away. 2 that are stable. So our initial look at the front, the medic teams are already starting to pull them out. It looks like we didn't take too many casualties here. We're looking at just 16 in the trenches for now. And then overall for the ADS, we have our 8 medic teams. There's 15 wounded in the trenches. There is nothing here locally. Yeah, looks like the ambulances are already there and waiting. We have one ambulance, so the first ambulance has already made its way down to the CCS, where I only have one team right now, so we can't wait too long. We can get rid of our Insomniac, but can we swap the Insomniac? No, so we'll just get rid of it. Okay, those 2 medic teams are ready to go, so we'll get them helping out at the CCS, and then we'll start doing what we always do and start shifting back. But right now, there's nothing awaiting burial. We're doing really good on that front. We have one exhausted nurse here. We'll get her swapped out. And then, yeah, we're doing just fine with the engineers and their ongoing projects. We're already 80% done with the upgrade here that'll allow us to get a free medic team here shortly and not use any staff points, which we have 5 of. We still have 116 military drafts, so we're doing just fine there. A lot of surgeries going on right now. All right, just checking in. It's weird. You don't get notifications that there's something new coming up, so you have to kind of just periodically check it out. But we do have a new scout mission evacuating villages. French forces are evacuating villages near the front line. Scouts have been asked to help with the evacuation of one of these villages, and we have one team available, so they'll be the easy choice for that one. And now both scout teams are active for the first time in this chapter, as we get bonuses here, the positive ones. I like this one, definitely makes life easier. And oh, extra event, folks. We have an extra event. This was an unexpected one. Train is pulling in. Second train is pulling in, but we have a train that was due to arrive anyway. But here are medic teams coming off this train. So it does look like we are going to have some additional patients here at the same time that we are literally dealing with our own battle. But we're down to 8 wounded in the trenches, and they seem to be coming very quickly and getting onto the ambulances. And there's only one ambulance waiting there right now, so we seem to be getting through them pretty quickly. And while it's not empty, we're doing okay. And surgical supplies have arrived. That might have been one of those trains. So we do have our surgical supplies now. We have finished our camp improvement, so we can Jacob and Gaston Pelletier join the hospital staff. I mean, if it's French, right? Let's see. What? Increased cost 1. I guess so. The circumstances. Okay, so we have a new medic team. Let's figure that one out. We don't have a new medic team yet, do we? No, they're not here yet. Okay, engineers are ready to get back to it. We have plenty of supply, so the next upgrade. They said housing. I kind of want to get this all knocked out. The engineers, though, I want to get them first. Okay, we do have some available points, and of course we have an issue with what's going on at the front. So let's start dealing with that. There's green. Okay, still just good. But with that current group, looks like we'll have the upcoming battle covered off fairly quickly. And the numbers have changed. So it did go up a little bit. We're at 10, 11 now. But the wounded here and waiting for an ambulance is very much a thing at the moment. Decrease cost? No, let's take the... Oh, yeah, from a 5 to a 1. I am getting a lot of negative events to start this chapter. A lot of them. Well, we have stabilized where it was roughly 20 and 5. It's now 40 and 5. So we've saved roughly 20 straight patients. That's obviously a good thing. Okay, so we have our next rest period, but for the moment, surgery ward, for the first time since the start of this chapter, we've got everyone scheduled. We're still struggling to keep up, though. But that's going to use 22 resources. We have 45, so we at least have a positive balance for the time being. Trauma ward is still easy. One long surgery is it. The others are already well rested. And chemical ward, well, fine, it's 4 patients, and actually, why don't we shift him down and get him done? We're doing just fine there. So things are looking really good on that front. We are up to good for the next battle, and we've got almost 2 days. It's nearly 48 hours. It's probably 46, 45 at this point till that comes. And the epicenter already, there's a few more. And there, it's strong, just like that. So we can start recollecting to HQ for a little while. 110 military drafts. We've already finished the... Oh, wait, no, we haven't. We're at 12 of... I've sent more than that, but okay, sure, fine, whatever. Scout events ongoing. Positive events happening here. Decreased cost. Love to see it. Shorter rehab is fine. 42 and 6. We lost one. Died during operation. Alright, folks, well, I'm going to go ahead and pause right there. Alcohol. Doing great. Military drafts. Fine. We still have 5 staff points. I'm not going to spend those on medic teams right now, though. Food rations are just fine. Chemical supply is fine. Trauma supply is already rebuilding. It's going the right direction. And surgical supplies, we are having to spend some staff points to help out with that. We're going through it really fast. But it's less expensive than these. It's just 2 points. It's not bad. And meanwhile, the freights keep it up just fine, despite rapid upgrades. But that's going to change when we add more engineers and make it that much harder. So we could be putting a strain on our freight here at some point, but they're giving us like 2,000 every time the train comes. It's pretty easy to at least get an upgrade going and be able to rapidly work on producing supplies and whatnot. So things are going really well to start the chapter. A little disappointed that we lost 5 on the operating table today. I'm pretty satisfied, though, that the trenches are empty and there's just 5 wounded left here. We can already start shifting these extras. So there you go. This is already back to medic teams are just fine. They've got it under control. Nurses recovered. Take care of 2 exhausted ones and get them out of there. They're doing fine. The engineers are doing fine. They're already more than halfway through that upgrade. So things are doing... we're off to a good start for the chapter. Yeah, outside of those 5 losses where you would expect it to be just 1 or 2, we're off to a great start. Already a nice positive balance. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.